In a monumental case before the Supreme Court, the justices ruling President Trump can move forward with implementing the end of birthright citizenship. The High Court today focusing on whether district courts have the ability to issue nationwide injunctions on Trump's executive order.
Thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis.
The decision 6-3, split along ideological lines. Justice Amy Coney Barrett with the opinion of the court writing, universal injunctions likely exceed the equitable authority that Congress has given to federal courts. Justice Sonia Sotomayor writing in dissent, no right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates.
Birthright. That's a big one.
President Trump signing the controversial executive order on day one of his second term, limiting U.S. citizenship only to children born in the U.S. to lawful permanent residents, ending a right that's been guaranteed by the Constitution for more than 150 years. Federal judges in 3 states ruled the ban on birth.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand? It's going to be a showdown in October. They'll make that decision. Man, I heard about it this afternoon. I'm like, okay. They fought it out and they got it done. People, you know, every country has their laws. And countries, they go through a moment with their laws where they either abandon them, relax them, or they harden them. Laws I learned when I was covering, I remember I covered court cases in Gary, Indiana as a reporter. I did a little work in that area, believe it or not, as a reporter. And I heard the word legal document, that it was a breathing document. It can expand. But it depends on whose interpretation. The decision was a 6-3. A 6-3. I kind of chuckled when I heard that, a 6-3. Now, normally with my biblical thinking, when I hear 6-3, I think of 6 3 times, like Mark of the Beast. Who knows? Is it symbolic? I'll venture into that, but I just want to talk right now. The immigration football will be kicked around for a while. For a while. I, for one, like I said a few weeks ago, I think they're going to wind up staying. But what do I know? I'm just a fly on the wall. I'm just a Joe citizen, so to speak. But this one here is going to cause a lot of division, and you know it. Just in time for the long, hot summer. Oh, Pearson, there you go again. Yeah, look at the timing, baby. It's June 27th, 2025. 5:49 p.m. Happy Friday. Look, they're putting this out there. And they've got what? June. So you got July, August, September. Got 90-some days before they vote it out. I guess the last vote, however that works. I'll try to keep abreast of it. I'm sure you will as well. But people, let's go on, because I have something to talk about as we go along in this thing.
I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts, and Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas. Great people. Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case, because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now properly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending
Yep. Look, listen to this last part. This is deep.
city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement,
Ending sanctuary city funding. Boy, and I'm in a sanctuary city here in Chi-Town. If this goes through, which I really have no problem with it. I mean, I think they should come through the right way, but then again, I don't think they're going to be able to get it done. But again, what do I know? Just a commentator. I hope that it doesn't get it to the point where the sanctuary cities fight back and say, you know what? We're going to do it without the funding, and now they start going up on people's property taxes. Look, people, you got to think long term. It's crazy. Then again, Tom Homan might say, look, if you want to keep acting a fool, I'm going to send you governors and mayors to jail. See this here? I get irritated. I get blank. Tom Homan. He ain't playing, y'all. At least that's what he's saying. He ain't playing. This was meant for slavery's babies. Right? And we just got liberal. And I remember when I first found out about it, I'm like, yeah, okay. Some call them anchor babies, whatever. I don't want to have a crazy name attached to it, but you know what I'm trying to say. You come over here for a little while and baby born on the soil of America, automatic. Trump saying, no, you're not a slave. This ain't slavery. And then, you know, they had to fight it out and they made a ruling. Where do you stand? Did you see this coming? Did you think the Supreme Court was going to be able to say, look, we're not going to support Trump? Does this come down to appointees? I got to dig a little bit deeper and find out how many. I know that Justice Sotomayor I forgot who brought her in, but Biden brought in Ketanji, but Trump brought in somebody too. I want to surprise you with it because it's a numbers game, it appears. But where do you stand? See, anytime you go and you lax the law, which we've done from my research over 100 plus years, it becomes a part of the norm. But now you got a new sheriff in the town. And he's looking at the country like, look, economically, and look, we got all these scrupulous people here. If we didn't lax the laws, we wouldn't be in this predicament. I'm going to go back the way it was intended. And that is, if you are a slave child born here, you're an American citizen. I can't be as blunt as that. And last time I checked, slavery's over with, I would think, right? Okay, so that's a non-argument. Wow, people. Pam Bondi, check it out.
This was huge because it's indirectly impacted today. As I said, it's case by case. Let me reiterate, of the 35 of the 40 nationwide injunctions filed against this president, against his executive authority as president of the United States, 35 of them came from Maryland, D.C., Massachusetts, California, Washington. I mean, that's crazy. These 5 districts. So yes, it indirectly impacts us. It will be a separate decision in October. Next question.
In October, 3 months from now, right? I'm thinking, we know they got elections coming up, right? They got elections coming up, midterm and other things happening. This thing could be a football back and forth. I guess what I'm getting at is that, I'm going to show you, I want to show you something before I go any further. There is a group suing over Trump's birthright order seeks to convert case to a class action lawsuit. It's almost several of the workarounds that Trump's adversaries are poised to seize on after Justice's Friday ruling. An organization representing immigrants fighting President Donald Trump's Birthright Citizenship order wasted little time seeking to recalibrate its legal strategy to block the president's policy despite the high court's restrictions on nationwide injunctions. CASA Incorporated, is asking a federal judge in Maryland for an emergency block on Trump's policy, which would deny citizenship to children of some immigrants born in U.S. soil, and said it has refilled its broader lawsuit as a class action lawsuit. I know a lot of y'all saying, Lord have mercy. I told y'all it's going to be back and forth. And all the money wasted? Man, class action lawsuits are one of the ways that the Supreme Court explicitly indicated Friday were permissible to broadly block a federal government policy. It's among several exemptions or workarounds that Trump adversaries are poised to seize on after the justices sharply limited judges' ability to issue nationwide injunctions. Now, why would they do that? Why are you called the Supreme Court? If you have a supreme decision, how do you make this option available? I am so confused. And again, I'm not. Because this is Satan. This is the atmosphere that he wants to bring. And I'm going to show you why, okay? Let's just get there. Trump uttered Amy Coney Barrett. Okay? She assumed office October 27th, 2021. Okay? That's her. Now, nominated by Donald Trump. Interesting, huh? She was the spokesperson for the Supreme Court today. Interesting, right? Now, her birthday is January 28th, 1972. Good old Louisiana, New Orleans. Shout out. September 26th, President Donald Trump nominated Amy Coney Barrett. She was a spokesperson again today for this. September 26, 2020, nominated. And here's your receipts. Birthday, January 28th. And President Trump, nominated by President Trump. Isn't it, you think it's coincidence that she was the spokesperson for the Supreme Court on this ruling? Interesting, huh? And she nominated by Trump. If you take 9/26/2020, that's the day she was nominated by Trump, versus today's decision, 6/27/2025, that's exactly 4 years ago, 9 months, and 1 day. But when you break it down in days, it's 4 years and 274 days. That 274 sticks out. You know why? Because in 274 AD, the Roman Empire got rid of Christianity, and they brought in the invincible son, unconquered son. Oh yeah, Sol Invictus. Is that coincidence? Is that coincidence? Are they trying to tell us something through events? Interesting, huh? Then 128 is her birthday, Amy Barrett. Trump said, I'd like to thank Amy Barrett. He sung her praise. In fact, a few reporters asked Trump during his White House, during that press conference moment, about Amy Coney Barrett. And Trump's like, no, great judge, great decision. So you take our birthday, subtract it from today, the difference is 216 days. What is 216? You know what August 4th is the 216th day of the year, and August 4th is Barack Obama's birthday. Is that a coincidence? I'm sure a lot of y'all shaking your head like, yeah, I should have known something was up. Look, baby, check it out. 128, that's her birthday. 2026, her next birthday. 6/27, today's date. 216 is right there. Now, we got 6/27, 2025, today's date. And 10/27 is when she assumed office as a Supreme Court judge, right? Or was she lower court, whatever her judge, let me see. Associate judge of the Supreme Court of the United States, she's associate judge. Okay, so let's go back to that. 6/27, assumed that court position as the Supreme Court. We here. 10/27, yeah, 10/27 in office, 6/27, decision made. That's exactly 4 years and 8 months ago, y'all. 48. Now, you know, on April 8th of last year, there was an X that came across the earth, an eclipse. Is it trying to tell us something about Trump? Will something be eclipsed? Will America be eclipsed? That's how they speak, people. I just decode. Now, last but least, let's get this done. The Supreme Court of the United States was founded March 4th. Let the ambulance go by. Our Supreme Court was founded March 4th, 1789. When you take March 4th, 2024, updated, last birthday, subtracted from Amy Coney Barrett, the Supreme Court Justice, that's her birthday. Subtract her birthday from the founding of the Supreme Court in America, anniversary, you get 47 weeks in one day. Who's the 47th president? That'd be Trump. People, I think it's going to be back and forth. I really do. I think even in the courts, they're doing this thing to create hostility. And once this man is unalive, it's going to be a JFK moment where you're not going to know what finger to point. But they're creating that atmosphere where so many enemies are there. I didn't do but maybe just one video on it this week in relation to the war that Trump, when he bombed Iran. But people all over the internet, they're talking about these sales. So you got the sales that are allegedly trying to get him. You got these illegals mad as hell at him. Come on, man. And you got these other people in the past, they've been reporting, trying to get him. I believe this atmosphere is being utilized. It's being created on purpose. And that's what we at, people. That's what we at. Appreciate you guys being here. If I didn't, I want to thank again Helen, Paula, and June. And I want to thank everybody who sent me some help. I appreciate it. There's another guy I want to say, I can't think of his name right now, but I'll put in the next video. Thank you, sir. Every month you send me something, and you know who you are, and I appreciate you. God bless you. And thank you, people, for being here. We are, and I haven't been saying it a lot, people, look where we're at. We have 30,100 plus subscribers. I'm going to try to go live either tonight or tomorrow. Thank you guys personally. But yeah, people, a lot going on in America. You keep the faith. They're working the courts. They're working the streets. I might be live again outside tomorrow too, because there's supposed to be some protests as well. All right, folks. God bless you. Thank you.